Greetings, one and all. It's Dr. Jonathan with the 12 at 12 Live. And looking a little rough around the edges here. I got some seasonal allergies kicking in, but otherwise healthy and happy here at home, making the best of a difficult time. And hopefully helping you make the best of a difficult time as well. What I wanted to do today is share what I think is just a very simple, helpful memory tool, which means something that helps you remember how to stay focused, grounded, connected, open, and aware. It's not rocket science. It's simple stuff that you should already know, but it's putting it together in a way that you can kind of keep reminding yourself, or maybe put it on a sticky note. So it's a very helpful tool. It's got some reminders of some really critical things, and we're going to do it in about a total of 12 minutes or so. On that note, let's dive in. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, feel yourself settling down and slowing down. And just tuning into the quietness that you carry no matter what's going on in your life. And remembering that we can always find some measure of peace, some measure of perspective, if we just learn to slow down, connect with our breath, and be in the moment. And while you're feeling that settling and slowing, I want to share another favorite poem by Rilke from the Rilke Book of Hours. The hour is striking so close above me, so clear and sharp, that all my senses ring with it. I feel it now. There's a power in me to grasp and give shape to my world. I know that nothing has ever been real without my beholding it. All becoming has needed me. My looking ripens things, and they come toward me to meet me and be met. It's such a powerful poem, and interesting because centuries later, that's eventually what they called the Heisenberg principle, right? Or the observer effect. These were the two principles of science that were revealed that show that by participating in an experiment, the scientist is actually shaping the experiment, that there's actually no neutral reality where there is no interconnection and no evidence of interconnection. All things are interconnected, and this is most evident at the subtle and subatomic levels of life, where the mere act of observing a particle shapes and changes its behavior, shapes and changes its potential. So maybe in that spirit, we can ask ourselves, how do we make the most of the daily lived experiment that is our life, of the daily lived experiment that is our attention and our energy? How do we not fuel and feed reaction and distraction, and instead return again and again to a sense of centeredness, a sense of connection, and a sense of perspective that helps us to bring the very best of our intuition, our love, and our wisdom to each moment. So the memory tool I have for you today is simply called, well, that looks really bright, doesn't it? It's hard to see. It's called Slow. I'm going to adjust the light here, and then you can see it a little better. Slow means S-L-O-W. Okay? So seek spirit, listen generously, open your heart, welcome everything. I'm going to talk about what each of these really mean in just a moment, but I wanted you to get that up there clear as you can. So S, seek spirit. L, listen generously and deeply. O, open your heart to what is. And W, welcome everything. So the first one, seek spirit, what that reminds us is that no matter what we're facing, a relationship struggle, a food decision, worry about health, worry about work, or whatever it might be, excuse me, step back and reorient the questions you have for yourself around your spiritual life, right? So no matter what presents itself, no matter what you think the topic is, you remind yourself that the only topic is your spiritual evolution. It's not whether the neighbor put their garbage can too close to yours. It's not whether you're frustrated that we're not getting back to work or that we are getting back to work. What you're learning from is everything. How do we discover the self, the soul, and spirit in every moment? So that's the first step. Reorient your perspective around spirit. So slow, S, seek spirit. L, listen openly and generously, means remember that the greatest wisdom and love that you can bring to any situation, now that you've reoriented around the right priority, is probably not going to come from you. It's going to come from deep listening. That means open-mindedness. That means paying attention. That also means absolutely affirming that everything carries wisdom, that other people's differences and struggles and challenges can teach you something, and that even emptiness, being alone, a quiet forest, that all life has the ability to speak to us. Listening generously and deeply is really about recognizing that there is a wise consciousness in the world that we can connect to. And it's also about reorienting our relationship to whatever it is we're struggling with, so that we move from a place of trying to figure things out to a place of considering, a place of reflection, a place of deep listening. So we have S, we have L, then O. O is, if you remember, we had open your heart to what is. And this very much falls along the lines of work you can read by, what's her name, Byron Katie, Matt Kahn. Even I think Brené Brown's work has a lot of this. In fact, most non-dual teachings, Jack Kornfield, Thich Nhat Hanh, Eckhart Tolle, very much a thread that you find there. And what that means is greet everything with compassion. Greet everything with compassion. Bring love to all decisions. Bring love to all situations. It doesn't mean you're going to necessarily tolerate everything. It doesn't mean you're going to necessarily support everything. But it means that now that you're listening, now that you're oriented around spirit, bring the greatest love you can manage to the moment. How would you listen differently? How would you decide differently? How would you relate differently if compassion was a fundamental value that you want to demonstrate in the situation? And really that also opens us up to the idea that there is nothing unlovable. And that's a very deep, hard lesson to work with. So even though it's just SLOW, it's a lifetime of work. Opening your heart to everything means welcoming all realities in, not necessarily as good or not necessarily as what you want, but simply as a part of existence. And recognizing that when we push things away, resist things, deny things, judge things, put things in our shadow, we cut ourselves off from some of the core energy and elements of life. Finally, we go to W, which is welcome everything. And welcome everything is kind of an extension of this previous one. Open your heart to what is. Open your heart to what is really about saying, you're going to bring compassion to the way you relate to this moment, whatever the moment is. But welcome everything is more a call for the mind. So welcome everything is about being creative. It's about being open to possibilities. It's about being intuitive, imaginative. It's about recognizing that you might not have all the answers. So think of welcome everything as more than just loving acceptance of what is, but kind of the next step, where you open your mind, your intellect, your attention to where you might experience, what you might be hearing when you listen, what emerges when you bring love to the situation. Let the mind be open to consider all possibilities, to do things differently, to be creative, to see things from other people's points of view. When we say welcome everything, it means engage the world with curiosity, with willingness. And when we bring these 4 simple things together, slowing down to remember spirit, listening, open-heartedness, and open-mindedness, we find that we can transform anything, any difficult moment, any difficult decision, and any difficult road that we might find ourselves on. We can also find ourselves in a place to truly savor, sense, fully experience, and appreciate all the wonderful moments that are happening within us and around us. So that's it for now. Once again, the acronym is SLOW. Hopefully you got it. As I say, not rocket science to remember, but I'll tell you, that's a lifetime worth of work. And when you apply it, you remember, and that's the last principle, right? Welcome everything. You apply this approach to absolutely every relationship, absolutely every challenge and setback, absolutely everything in your life. So thank you. Thank you for being with me again. We filled up our time. I'm grateful for you. If you'd like a free copy of my new book, Spiritual Experience, you can download it from my website. Don't forget to check out our Mother's Day program at Althea. It's on Althea Center Denver Facebook page, and it's going to be Sunday at 10:30. It's going to be awesome. And it's about all forms of motherhood. It's about the divine motherhood. And it really isn't about mums and dads on planet Earth, although that's an important part of what we will explore and celebrate in the big picture this Sunday. All right. Thank you for being here. Lots of love. If you like this, be sure to share it. And if you have questions, you're always welcome to send them. Mwah. Adios. And we'll see you.